Your questions answered today. What is social influence? On this channel, we talk a lot about building your influence, your authority, and your income, so we gotta get down to basics. What is social influence? At its very basic level, social influence is that invisible force that changes people's attitudes, it changes their behaviors. So when you look around and you see your friends or the people around you and their actions are changing because of the presence of others, that is social influence at its best. But we have the ability, with the technology at our fingertips, to create social influence without being in the same room as other people. We can do this all using the web, the internet, the technology we have that connects us all around the world. So social influence can be both a good thing and a bad thing. We're going to use it as a good thing, and we're going to use it in our businesses to create deeper connections to our people. So if you want to know more, stay tuned. In this video, we'll talk about the two powerful realms of influence. We'll talk about how group culture impacts and influences our actions. And of course, at the end of this video, you're going to have to stay tuned for this, but we're going to talk about how do you actually leverage the power of influence. There are two different realms of influence that we need to talk about first and foremost. Those two realms are informative and normative. So informative would mean you're helping people change their mind. You're giving them information that's helping them take another step. Normative, on the other hand, is when people are actually changing their behaviors. I know we're not supposed to talk about politics on this channel, but I love democracy and I love our ability to go vote. We have this privilege at our fingertips in some countries that in other countries doesn't exist. And so I fully embrace that opportunity to go and share my vote. And I like to help get my neighbors and my community members involved in that process as well. I don't care who you're voting for, but I want you to know that the information is out there. So I go and I try and change people's minds that not voting is the right decision for them. So I help them I give them the information they need in order to change their mind and hopefully decide that going to vote for anyone is better than not voting at all. So I'm giving them information to help change that informative influence. On the other hand, we have normative influence, right? The influence that changes our behaviors. And that happens when you go into, let's say, a long line at the bank. Everyone is going to line up at the bank. Or at least you'd think that. Actually, let's change that bank example and say you're lining up at a ski hill at the bottom of the chairlift and you're about to take off. So what happens in most parts of the world is that everyone will line up back to back. If you've just arrived, you're going to jump in line behind the person who is at the end of the line, and now you're the end of the line. That makes sense, right? That would be normative in some areas of the world. But in France, when I lived there, there is no semblance or sense of a queue. There is no idea of lining up in front of each other. It is a free-for-all. You're going on top of other people's skis, you're flinging some elbows around. And I was there as a young au pair going, what is this nonsense? Who taught these people their manners? What is happening? There are children, there are old people, there are professionals, all acting like animals in my mindset. But that was the norm. That is the way that they do it there. And so normative behavior is really easy to change when you're physically in proximity to other people. But in the world of our digital community making, that takes a little bit more effort on our part as the leaders of these movements to make sure that we are setting the right tone, we're setting the right language, we're creating the same norms of behavior of what is expected within our communities. So think about it that way, and let me know down in the comments if you have been focused more on your normative community building or on your informative community building. What aspects have you been focusing on, and where do you think you need to improve next? Let us know down in the comments below. Now let's talk about group culture and how that actually informs our behavior. Influence is a beautiful thing. It's changing, it's molding, it's shaping, and it's stretched between good things and bad things. We can use influence in both of these ways. Now, there's two more aspects to influence that I want you to think about, because it's so easy, if you harness these in the wrong way, that you end up on that bad side or that negative side of influence. These two realms are conformity and compliance. Two words that usually aren't in my vocabulary very often, that's for sure. But we have to be mindful of these two aspects of influence before we unleash our influential power on the world. Conformity is being part of a group. Remember, we're talking about creating those norms, creating that language, creating that acceptable behavior that is expected and practiced within our community. We want to lean on this. We want people to be part and to conform to our community standards. But of course, how much conformity you expect is entirely up to you guys. For me, I think in our community we share a same set of shared values. That is the level of conformity. We're not asking you to cut all your hair off and to chant things and to do your day the exact same way as everyone else, and we're not asking you to conform to that level. We're just asking you to share those same beliefs of what it means to be a decent, good human being. On the other hand, we have compliance, and compliance comes from having a strict set of rules. Now, in the visibility hacking movement, we absolutely have thought of compliance. If you want to join the official visibility channel and you want to come hang out in our Facebook group, you're going to have to read through a couple of very simple rules and follow those rules. If you break them, we will kick you out of the community. That is the level of compliance that we're looking for. If you want to get really tough and you look at, let's say, the military, if you don't wear your uniform properly, that is a piece of compliance that you're failing to meet. You can be brought up on charges for that, or you can at least get a really good finger wag before you fix your uniform. There are different levels of this that exist in different communities. So in your community, if you're trying to help people in their marriages, or you're trying to help other small businesses, whatever it is, you have to understand that there needs to be a level of flexibility in both of these two aspects. In the way that people conform to your group and become a member of your tribe, but also in the compliance and what it means to stick to those rules. Think about those. A very simple rule that you guys can follow that actually isn't a rule and it has no repercussions is to simply hit that subscribe button and join us here on the channel. We release new videos every week to help you level up your influence, your authority, and ultimately your income online. Now, if you want to level up your influence and you want to leverage the influence you have within your brand, you want to get into the world of marketing groupthink. Look around and see the other examples that businesses either in your niche or in your industry or completely outside of your niche and your industry, see what they're doing. The beautiful thing about our ability to market our businesses online is the amount of data we have available at our fingertips. Really granular data that speaks directly to the relationship our customers are having with us and our brand, but also really granular data about how customers are interacting on a macro level with other brands. How certain trends in social media marketing or content marketing or relationship marketing or network marketing are playing out in real time. We're able to see this and harness this. We're able to make best practice decisions. We're able to decide on where the money we're going to spend in our campaigns are going based on global trends, macro trends, micro trends, and granular trends that we're seeing. It's pretty freaking amazing. It's an amazing time to be in the world of marketing. It really is. And one of the most impactful ways to build that presence online and to start to create that stage, that community, and cover all of the things we have talked about in this video and the things we talk about on this channel is the easiest way to get all of that leveraged for your small business is to join us over in Live Academy. Now I know that's a huge jump for you guys to take, so I've put together a quick little go live checklist that you can find down below, and that's going to help you think about all the things you need to pull together in order to start creating live video content that connects to your people. And on the back end of that, we show you in Live Academy what are the metrics that matter, what are the analytics that matter, how do we find that big marketing data that's going to help inform the decisions we should be making in our small business. Love it. All right, guys, until I see you again, enjoy this video. Remember, I love you. Be excellent to each other and just go live.